Hello. How are you today?
Yeah, good. Let-
Good.
Let's start with April, new season.
Uh, that's not so good, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
Mm,
Um, anyways, um,
and- okay, I'll share this one. It's white version. It's changed the color. I was really touched on your story about receiving a bucket full of egg from your farmer neighbors on your birthday. It's a last lesson reviewing. I was
yep.
also fun fascinated. I was also fascinated by the casual tradition in Vietnam for giving eggs, alcohol, money as gifts. Three things. When you shared honestly about your hearing challenges and how it affects your ability to enjoy music, it made me feel a deeper sense of trust and connection. The way you share your life and culture ways encourage me, not just in learning, but emotionally too. Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. Uh,
Yeah,
well,
thank
thank
you.
you.
Mm,
But yeah, I just like to tell interesting stories.
yeah,
And yeah, talking about eggs and stuff is interesting.
mm, good. Yeah, so you are living so Vietnam, your traditional culture. Mm, I learned. Okay, and ah, if you don't if you don't me if you don't mind me asking, when you start experiencing hearing difficulties.
So,
Uh,
I know I lost my hearing since I was born because
ah,
um, I always knew that I had to listen with this ear. So whenever I answered the phone, I knew I had to use it on this ear.
mm,
However, we didn't. My family didn't find out, and I didn't truly find out until I was
ah,
about 8 or 10 years old, because obviously when I'm a child, I think it's normal. No one told me that you can hear from both ears. So
uh,
I just thought, oh, it's normal that I only hear from this ear. Um,
uh,
and so it until eventually my parents were like, Troy seems to be struggling with hearing sometimes. Let's get him tested. Yeah, and I was probably around grade 4 or grade 3,
mm,
somewhere around there. Um,
mm,
and so yeah, it's 8 or 9 ish
mm.
when they found out. Oh, his right ear doesn't work,
Oh,
basically,
wow.
or it works in a weird way. Uh, the hearing is high pitched sounds are gone and low
Mm,
pitched sounds I can
mm,
hear. However, it's still bad with low pitched sounds. Um, the best way I could describe it would be essentially I have zero high pitched sounds, but with my low pitched sounds, I hear as good as a 60-year-old. So it's not like I hear amazing with deep sounds, um, but I just hear them a little bit, but zero high pitched sounds. Um,
oh,
yeah, so it's a bit
thank you so much.
strange.
Thank you for sharing. Has it ever affect your choice or work in any way? Of course, please feel free not to answer if it's too
Um,
personal. I would
hmm,
appreciate if you are comfortable sharing.
uh, I don't know. Hmm,
Mm,
let
yeah,
me think.
good.
Has it
Yeah.
affected my work? For teaching, it hasn't really affected it because I have my headphones.
Mm,
Uh, and like I said, I do have hearing aids.
mm,
So when I didn't have the headphones, I would wear hearing aids and hear better. Um,
mm,
I guess the only time that it's affected me is like I know the issue is that I know I have the issue. So there's one unique weird thing with my hearing, not just like, oh, you can't hear that much, but because only this ear works, all of my sound comes from here, this direction. So if you're over here and you're like, hey, Troy, I hear from up here. So I do still catch myself going like, huh? Like, even though the person's over there, I'll be like, oh, yeah, that's right, you're over there. So sometimes hearing has a weird thing like that, which has caused maybe a little bit of issues at the restaurant while working, because it takes me a few seconds to figure out where the person is talking to me from. But generally, because restaurants aren't that big, I can find the person pretty quickly. It doesn't affect me too much.
Nice. Okay. Thank you for sharing. Okay.
No problem.
So I don't know. So you have a handicap in your mouth, ear. So you look so very good as a tutor. Okay.
Oh, the biggest thing is because I've known this my whole life, right? So it's my normal. It's hard to say, like for me at least, I don't feel like I have a handicap. Obviously, like factually, yes, I definitely have a handicap. But because this has been my entire life, it's just like I said, it's my normal, right? As a kid, I didn't know I had a hearing problem because it was just my normal ever since I was born, right? So yeah, that's kind of why I look normal, because I'm act like it's normal. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay. Let's continue. It's finished ice break, so let's continue.
Yeah.
Weekly lesson, weekly journal. This question: what you are a confident English speaker? And my answer: yes, I feel a little more confident speaking English now compared to six months ago. I can share my experiences and memories more clearly in English. For example, when I'm talking about a trip abroad, I can describe a feeling I had never experienced before. I'm gradually improving my ability to express myself to native speaker. That's all.
Good.
Are you confident? You are native.
Of course,
You are
I'm
native
confident
English.
with English. Now, if I'm to use like my wife's language, no, I'm not confident. Yeah, unfortunately, I still struggle with my wife's language, mainly because my wife's language is not a written language. Like I said, with my hearing, I often learn through writing because I can't hear as much. So I focus on the writing first, see how it's spelt, and then kind of learn how to speak that way. Which again is not the best way of learning a language. You should be learning listening and speaking first, in my opinion. But yeah, because I can't focus too much on that, I prefer the writing and then try to read. But like I said, my wife's language is not a written language because it's not a popular language, right? Banar is just 500,000 people in the world. There's only one book I know that is written in Banar, and that would be the Bible. And that's not normal English to begin with, right? So like even if I tried to translate the English Bible to the Banar Bible, the words, they would obviously translate, but the words are different in English, right? It's not like normal English, it's old English for the Bible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyways, so
okay.
you have a few questions for us. Let's see how they go.
Yeah.
Number one, how has your confidence in speaking English changed over the past 6 months?
My confidence has been growing little by little, but I still feel a bit nervous. So I try not to skip preparation and review.
Okay. Can you share a memorable experience you talked about in English recently?
Yeah. When I went to watch a baseball game in Tokyo last month, I talked with a tourist from America. It was really fun to talk about Japanese cheering style and culture.
Mhm. Oh, okay. Interesting. Nice. Uh, what helps you feel more confident when speaking English? Any technique or anything you do?
Okay. I feel more confident when I can speak smoothly about topics or stories I'm interested in.
For example?
For example, okay,
Yeah, any specific example or not really?
uh, fitness and mm, uh, learning new language and your living culture
Mm.
and
Oh,
history. Mm,
okay, good.
thank you.
Um, have you ever felt nervous speaking English with a native speaker? And how did you overcome it?
Yes, I still get nervous sometimes, but I remind myself that communication is more important than being perfect. That helps me relax.
Okay, fair enough. Uh, that's kind of what I do.
That's
Uh,
kind
what what kind of situations make you feel most confident in English?
when I talking about topics I know well or care about, I feel more confident. Also, casual conversation with English tutor, people help a lot.
Mhm. Okay, good. Uh, okay, fair.
Mm.
How do you practice expressing your feelings and experiences in English?
I try to translate my feelings and experience and record them. For example, I write short diary
Mhm.
entries like this, or take notes in English about what happened that day.
Okay. Um, I guess, is there any specific vocabulary you like to use more often, or you just try to use new vocabulary? What do you think?
Mm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I learned so every single day. Uh, it's like new vocabulary.
Mhm.
I try to use this vocabulary and these phrases. Mm. It's
Okay.
important things
Okay.
to
Fair.
learning English. Thank you.
Good. How do you think self-esteem affects language learning?
I believe self-estimate. I believe self-esteem plays a big role in language learning. Since I actively learn positive words and tend to turn notes, tend to tone out negative ones. Studying English becomes a kind of uplift experience for me. It's like my brain only pick up the good stuff, and I love that. I
Oh,
like it. This. Mm,
I agree. That's a good
mm,
way of thinking about
mm,
it. Okay, nice. Also, I've noticed this a lot with students. I would rather have a student who is terrible at English but has confidence than a student that's amazing at English but doesn't have confidence, because I can make that student with confidence become really good at English, but it's really hard to improve the student with no confidence because they just don't use their English, right? They'll be like, well, did I say that right? Did I say that right? Did I say that right? And then it's very hard to teach that. So yeah, I think it's a big effect for sure.
Bigger effect.
Have you
Okay.
developed a positive mindset towards learning English?
Yes, I've definitely become more positive about learning English. It's also been a great way for me to reflect on how I express myself and be more mindful of the words I use.
Okay, thanks. Can you think of a time when you needed courage to speak English?
There was a time when I was traveling alone. I was traveling by myself abroad and have to explain my situation clearly in English. I took a deep breath, pushed through the pushed through the nervous, and just spoke up. In the end, I got my message across, and it turned out to a really empowering experience.
So, uh, turned nervous.
Nervous.
That's a bit strange.
Yeah.
You would normally say I had to overcome uh, my nerves. You would
Nervous.
say, not nervous. You would say, I needed to overcome my. Let me think. There was a
This
time
is
when
the
I was
answer.
traveling along a route and had to explain my situation clearly. And I took a deep breath, pushed through. Oh, sorry. You wrote it correctly. You pronounced it wrong. That's nerves, not nervous.
Nervous. No,
Yeah,
not
push
nervous.
through the nerves. Yes.
Nervous.
So,
Okay.
okay.
Nervous.
Yeah. You wrote it correctly, so that's good.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Nervous. It's
Yeah.
not a negative mind. It's a
Yeah. Nerves just means like
nerves.
your brain. Basically, you
Brain.
had to push through your brain just to speak. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
What
Okay.
does resilience mean to you in language learning? In your language learning journey?
To me, resilience in language learning means picking myself up when I feel discovered and staying motivated by using positive affirmations. It's about pushing forward even on the tough days. Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you for sharing. So after lesson, I'll check the pronunciation and nervous, nervous. What's spell nervous and nerve?
So nervous, like this, right?
So nerves. Okay, thank you.
So,
Yeah, it's so improving pronunciation help me AI application. This lesson I want to focus on a fun conversation.
Okay.
So you said so. So you like it, confident student,
Yeah.
speaking confident student. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. It's next question. Role play is a skip. I'll check the vocabulary. Please wait. 5 vocabulary. Confidence. Please wait. I'll send. Confidence. Confidence, self-esteem, mindset, courage, resilience. Okay?
Okay.
And so please ask me this question about words.
Okay. So here we go.
Yeah.
In what kind of situation do you feel like you've gained more confidence?
Please wait. Thanks to regular online lessons, I've gradually built confidence in speaking English. One moment that really boosted my confidence was when I could really explain the situation when I got injured.
Okay.
Thank you.
Fair. Okay. Self-esteem. Can you describe an experience when your self-esteem increased or decreased, or both?
I once struggled to express myself clearly due to lack of preparation. But after I began putting more effort into preparing, preparing,
Mm-hmm.
I felt more confident when speaking, and it really boosted my self-estimate.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Troy?
Um,
When you are increase, when your self-estimate increased,
uh, hmm. I guess for me, the only times my self-esteem increases is when I get more responsibilities. So when I was a child and my family makes maple syrup, my dad allowed me to bottle the maple syrup. Ooh, that's more responsibilities. Uh, Now that gives me self-esteem. Or at the restaurant, I used like at my very first job, I used to wash dishes, maybe cut salad, like lettuce and stuff, tomatoes. But once I could make sandwiches or make the um, meat dishes and stuff, oh, all of a sudden my confidence is going up because the more responsibility I think helps me. And in contrast, this opposite happens as well, though. If
mm,
I lose um, responsibility, that kind of decreases my self esteem. So, for
mm,
example, when I opened my bakery in Canada
mm,
and had everything going quite well, but then it failed during COVID,
mm,
all of a sudden my self esteem went down quite a lot because I lost all of my responsibility. I had nothing to do for an entire year of COVID,
mm.
2020. But then, yeah, so it kind of goes both ways for me. More responsibilities increase, less decrease. Mhm.
Thank you so much. Uh,
Okay.
nice challenging.
Mind,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Mindsets. Okay,
Uh,
this is a good one. Was there a moment when you felt your mindset towards learning English changed?
I used to believe that I needed to speak perfectly, but over time, my mindset shifted. Now I focus more on being understood than being flawless, and that change has helped me feel much more at ease.
Mhm. Okay. Um, okay. Uh,
Courage.
Courage. Have you recently done something that required courage? What was it?
I recently had an opportunity to speak with some French and Japanese tourists.
Mhm.
It took some courage to approach them as a please wait. I have opportunity to speak with American tourists. Uh, it took some courage to approach, but I'm so glad I did. we end up having a good conversation.
Oh, okay. What did you talk about?
Baseball.
Baseball.
Mm.
Good. That's a
And
fun
amazing.
one. Okay. Good.
That's fun.
Resilience.
Yeah.
Have you ever bounced back from a failure or setback, and how did you feel at that time?
I went through a tough time when I got injured during marathon training. It was really discouraging, but I took the time to rest and take care of my body. And I even started learning more about anatomy. So bicep,
Okay.
tricep, and how to avoid injuries. I feels great to me back on track, um,
Mhm.
both physically and mentality, and to approach learning with a more positive mindset. Yeah,
Okay. Mentally.
mentally.
Uh, mentality is how you think. Mentally just refers to your related to the brain, right?
Ah,
So a little bit different there. Mentally.
okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
Good. Uh, Fair enough. That's always a tough one, of course.
Yeah.
The
I'll read again. I feel
physically and mentally. Yep. Yep. Sorry. Go ahead.
mentally. Okay. It's finished. I prepared. I finished.
Mhm. Okay.
Last 2 minutes. It's
Mhm.
closing this lesson and pre-conversation. Uh,
Okay.
today's how many takes do you have the lesson?
Honestly, it's a Tuesday, so this is my worst day of the week.
Last day week.
uh,
Wow.
so I probably have, well, with classes booked, I probably only have like 5 classes booked.
5 glasses.
Um, but of course, students can call last minute, right? Or call at any time. So I'm going to guess I'm going to
Uh,
have
uh,
10 to 12 students today.
uh,
Um, but yeah, Tuesday is not my best day. Monday's really good in the
uh,
morning, maybe
uh,
not so good at night because
uh,
it will
uh,
be Sunday still in South
uh,
America, so I get a
uh,
lot of South Americans.
uh,
Uh, Tuesday and Wednesday are kind of the worst days because they're in the middle of the week. People are working, um, and most of my students are from Asia, Japan, China, Korea,
uh.
and I work in the well when normal people work, right?
Normal
So
people.
Tuesday, Wednesday, not so good. But yeah, once Thursday, Friday, Saturday comes, that's when people are starting to get time off, or they are worried they're gonna not use their class on Cambly
Uh,
and they
uh.
book a time anyways.
Mm.
So yeah, if I can get a nice day for Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm happy. Even if it's not the best day, as long as it's okay, I'm happy with that.
Okay.
But
It's
yeah,
a good thing. I'll
yeah.
take a reservation every Tuesday or Thursday.
Well, you
Or
take a reservation every day. It looks like
yes.
so. Yeah, that's true.
Nice.
But anyways,
Okay.
um,
Please have
well,
a feedback for this lesson.
I really like this last part here where you
Oh,
added extra questions about specific vocabulary.
oh,
Um, of course, there's a few words, right? Mentality or mentally and
uh, uh, uh,
nervous, right? Making sure that you know the difference with them.
mm,
Because they do have the same root word,
mm.
but then you add suffixes and prefixes to slightly change them, right? So making sure you know the differences between the suffixes and prefixes, okay?
Okay.
Um, but yeah, it was great to
Yeah.
see you again. See you
Okay.
tomorrow.
See you